right. Well, my name is Sharon, and I am here with some wild animals for you guys to meet. We've got some wolves here, 10 to be exact. They range in age from about 9 months up to 15 years old. Now, wolves are probably the most misunderstood animal on the planet Earth today. And that's because we start to learn about them at a very young age in stories like Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf, The Three Little Pigs and the Big Bad Wolf, and it goes on, always portraying them as the Big Bad Wolf. But you know what? That's not who they are at all. They're really a very special animal, wants nothing to do with us as human beings. They're devoted to their family, the pack. They live on every continent in the world with the exception of Antarctica, and they've been hunted to near extinction everywhere that they live. And that's because they're such good hunters themselves, and we think of them as competition for the food source. And our solution to that problem? Kill them. Get rid of them, eliminate them. Well, we know that's not right. We share the planet Earth with all forms of life. And it's our responsibility, big word, boys and girls, to take care of the animals as well as the environment that we all need in order to survive. You know, wolves play a very important part in our ecosystem. They are one of the top predators. And just for you folks to hear how important they are, we'd like you to listen to a little tape. It's just a couple of minutes long, but it's going to tell you just what happened when they brought the wolves back to Yellowstone Park a while ago, and the amazing transformation that took place there just because they brought wolves back. And if you do have negative thoughts about them, this just might change your mind. So please listen, and then we're going to bring them out for you to meet. Thank you.
One of the most exciting scientific findings of the past half-century has been the discovery of widespread trophic cascades. A trophic cascade is an ecological process which starts at the top of the food chain and tumbles all the way down to the bottom. And the classic example is what happened in the Yellowstone National Park in the United States when wolves were reintroduced in 1995. Now, we all know that wolves kill various species of animals, but perhaps we're slightly less aware that they give life to many others.
Wet me.
Before the wolves turned up, they'd been absent for 70 years, but the numbers of deer, because there was nothing to hunt them, had built up and built up in the Yellowstone Park, and despite efforts by humans to control them, they'd managed to reduce much of the vegetation there to almost nothing. They'd just grazed it away. But as soon as the wolves arrived, even though they were few in number, they started to have the most remarkable effects. First, of course, they killed some of the deer, but that wasn't the major thing. Much more significantly, they radically changed the behavior of the deer. The deer started avoiding certain parts of the park, the places where they could be trapped most easily, particularly the valleys and the gorges. And immediately those places started to regenerate. In some areas, the height of the trees quintupled in just 6 years. Bare valley sides quickly became forests of aspen and willow and cottonwood. And as soon as that happened, the birds started moving in. The number of songbirds and migratory birds started to increase greatly. The number of beavers started to increase because beavers like to eat the trees. And beavers, like wolves, are ecosystem engineers. They create niches for other species. And the dams they built in the rivers provided habitats for otters and muskrats and ducks and fish and reptiles and amphibians. The wolves killed coyotes, and as a result of that, the number of rabbits and mice began to rise, which meant more hawks, more weasels, more foxes, more badgers. Ravens and bald eagles came down to feed on the carrion that the wolves had left. Bears fed on it too, and their population began to rise as well, partly also because there were more berries growing on the regenerating shrubs. And the bears reinforced the impact of the wolves by killing some of the calves of the deer. But here's where it gets really interesting. The wolves wolves changed the behavior of the rivers. They began to meander less. There was less erosion. The channels narrowed, more pools formed, more riffle sections, all of which were great for wildlife habitats. The rivers changed in response to the wolves. And the reason was that the regenerating forests stabilized the banks so that they collapsed less often, so that the rivers became more fixed in their course. Similarly, by driving the deer out of some places and the vegetation recovering on the valley sides, there was a soil erosion because the vegetation stabilized that as well. So the wolves, small in number, transformed not just the ecosystem of the Yellowstone National Park, this huge area of land, but also its physical geography.
Wasn't that amazing? Are you guys ready to meet a wolf?
Yes.
Oh,
Finally.
come on, you gotta do better than that. I said, are you ready?
Yes!
All right, well, the first one coming out is one of our senior wolves. Please welcome Lakota.
What's a Lakota? There's a kid in our school named Lakota.
15-year-old Lakota. Now, besides being the oldest wolf that we have here, she's also the alpha female. What does that mean? She's the boss, the leader of the pack. Everybody listens to Lakota. And along with her mate, if they were in the wild, they would be responsible for the pack, taking care of them, guiding them, teaching them. That's right, that's their job. Now, watch out, guys. Well, along with her mate, they'd be responsible for the pack. And Lakota lost her mate up in about 2 years ago. He was 18 years old. But even though he's not here anymore, she still remains as the alpha female of this group. And she won't take another mate because wolves only do that one time in life. That's it. Now, Lakota, I know it's funny, but she's actually displaying a very important behavior for you right now. As the alpha, it's called marking the territory, scenting the area. And it's important because in the wild, that lets other animals know where the pack is. And they respect that of each other and stay out of their way. Now let's see if we can get her to stand up here in the front so you can take a closer look and see just what makes up a wolf. Now, Lakota is an eastern timber wolf. And she's an aging eastern timber wolf. But wolves, there's many different types of wolves out there, different colors, different sizes. And she's a beautiful specimen of a timber wolf, as you can see. Check out, though, those little rounded ears. That's so on those cold winter nights, the tips of them won't freeze off. That long snout for getting into the foxholes, the rabbit holes. They love white-tailed rabbit. Those yellow golden eyes, so typical of a wolf. And, of course, the long legs and big feet. If you look at a wolf's foot up close, you'll see that the two center toes are quite a lot longer than the others. And that gives them more traction when they are out there on the hunt. And wolves, in their pack form, can easily take down deer, elk, and even a buffalo. They are tremendous hunters. Good job. Let's hear it for Lakota. Isn't she beautiful? Yeah, she's a beauty. Well, we all know that wolves live in a pack. There could be anywhere from 5 up to as many as 20 wolves in any one group. The amazing thing is, within that pack, only the alpha male and female will mate and have young. When the babies are born, the whole pack joins in caring for them, even to the point that some of the other females will actually start to lactate, if necessary, to care for them. Now, a while ago, we were lucky enough to be able to help out a litter of cubs. It was our first encounter with young ones, so we didn't know quite how the pack was going to accept them. Well, we soon found out. Lakota here, being the alpha female, wanted nothing to do with them. She had not given birth to them, so as far as she was concerned, they were not part of the pack. But about that same time, one of the other females did see the need, and she adopted them. Would you guys like to meet the babies?
Yes! Babies!
Well, we're going to put Lakota away because guess what? She still doesn't like them. All right, Lakota, you're going in.
And the babies are coming out.
And babies are coming out. Come on, guys. Out you go. Do they look like babies?
No.
Well,
Yes.
they're not cubs, but they are youngsters. These guys are about 1.5 years old. They're going to continue growing for another 2 to 3 years. Wolves take a long time to mature. They grow physically real quick the first year, and that's for survival in the wild. They've got to be able to keep up with the pack. But mentally, not so much. They will stay with the pack many times up to 5 years. And then they start branching off and forming their own groups. Now what we have out here right now is one female, this little one here in the front. Her name is Star, and her brothers,
Yeah.
Timber and Lobo. Whoops. And what we're really doing with them is playing with them, finding out what their personalities are, their abilities. You know, animals like people are all different. So we try them out on different behaviors to see just where they're going to fit into our pack. Now that was really simple. Just a little jumping. Let's try something a little more difficult. We call it rolling out the barrel. This requires a lot more agility on their part and of course concentration. Let's see who's going to try it. You know, these behaviors are also enrichment for them. It's challenging for them to do these different things, and that's good. It's for their mind and their physical abilities. There you go. Now that's Timber on top. He's doing great here today. He hasn't been doing this very long. Still needs a little bit of help. There you go. Good job, Timber. Let's hear it for Timber. You know, I'm sure you've noticed that I'm giving them treats all the time, but I don't hand it to them with my bare hands. I toss it in the air, or we use what we call the treat stick. Wolves have more teeth than a domestic dog, and their jaw strength is twice that of a pit bull.
No.
They have about 1,500 pounds of pressure in that jaw. And that, of course, is one of the reasons that they are such efficient hunters. Well, thank you. We wanted to see that. Next, we're going to set up what we call the wolf playground. Because you don't train wolves. You find things that they like to do, and then we hope that they'll do it. When we ask them, "You going to try this one too?" That's when the treat comes in. It's called positive reinforcement. They do something that we ask and they get a treat. In this case, it's raw meat.
He's slobbering.
And these guys eat about 5 pounds of raw meat every day. And that's each one of them. So you know, hey! So you know what our grocery bill is. Yes, come on, let's go. Come on, Timber. Little sneaks here. Come on, Timber, you're the one doing the behavior. Let's go. Come on. Maybe if you guys would give him a little applause. Good job. Come on back. Good boy. All right, now we got him started. All right, Timber, good boy. You are so smart. All right, now we might be having too much fun out here. Can't get him to stop. All right, Timber, anytime now. That's a good job. Thank you. Maybe a little more applause. Good boy. There we go. So, you'll... All right, one more. Thank you, Timber. Well, and that's what we'll be doing with these guys over the next few months to find out just where they're going to fit into our program here. Well, you met the alpha female and you met the babies. Would you like to meet the rest of the pack?
Yes.
All right, well, let's put these guys away. Come on, guys, everybody in. Sure, you guys have noticed that they're going in and out of the periodically. That's how they stay cool when it's hot like this. Okay, guys. Everybody out. Boys. Yes.
So cute.
This is the rest of the pack.
Ah, so cute.
They are all boys.
They're all cute.
They're about 5 years old.
They're all
They all
cute.
come from the same place in West Virginia.
They're all cute.
Now, if these guys look a little bit different to you, that's because they're what's known as a hybrid. They're 98% Eastern Timberwolf, but these guys are 2% Alaskan Malamute they have in there as well. They're considered to be a wolf, by all means. But that extra 2% there, we're not advocates of that, but it does happen. Okay, guys, everybody in your places, come on. So everybody can take a look at you. I know it's hot out here. Let's go, guys. Yukon, Klondike, Primo, Juno. Come on, Yukon. Come on, Yukon. Hey, Yukon. Come on. Good boys, everybody. Now sit up, look pretty. What are you doing? Up there. All right, look pretty, everybody. All right, let's hear it for the pack.
They said it more.
They handsome?
Okay, you want to go now?
Well, they're here in
She
one
wants to
place.
go.
We'll introduce them to you. Down here on the end is Juneau. Next to Juneau is
We're gonna go
Yukon.
ride some more
On the
rides.
very top is Alaska. And on the other end, having a little bit of a hard time containing himself, is little Chemo. Whoops. You missed that. There you go. He's not-
Come on, Andy.
There you go.
I got it.
And we call them all the boys, and we think they're beautiful. What do you guys think?
I can't. Oh,
Yes.
oh God.
Beautiful. And you know what? They all deserve a place to live, just like we do.
Yes, they are all beautiful. I love wolves.
And truly understand wolves.
Okay, let's go somewhere where it's air conditioning.
Why are we leaving?
I know the perfect place where it's air conditioning and it is very.
Why are we leaving?
Yeah, because she wanted to leave,
I
and
said, hey, y'all could have stayed.
my numb legs. I know, but we have to stay together.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right, so it is. At least we got to see the whole
I
pack.
want to go somewhere air conditioned right now.
We got to see the whole pack.
Huh?
I said we got to see the whole pack and everything.
Sleep too, man. How worse can it get?